नमः हरिः ओम आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेताः ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। You see, when you are hurt, you cry. Anybody, when a person is hurt, the person cries. Why? Because you love yourself. Therefore, there is love as the very fountain of our life. But then you should not bottle up that love by limiting it to the body. So because when you limit it to the body, then you don't know how to love correctly. There is love, but there is no wisdom. Love and wisdom should go together. And so you should not bottle up your love to the body. Keep it open. So combine love with wisdom. So then it will be love for all. When all the false identifications are thrown away, means there is no self-identification at all. Of any kind of identification of the self is negated. Because that is the truth. It is like you are like space without any boundaries. The space is physical without any physical boundaries. So the space of awareness, that inner space, that space of awareness has no boundaries created by self-identification. Those boundaries are absent. Then what remains is love for all. Every time you make a self-identification, the love becomes bottled up within certain confines. And so you don't do that mistake. Be wise. And then what happens is the love for all. That is the divinity. Okay? Then in the verse that we have concluded, I was looking at the word kshami, the one who has kshama, endurance. But then the word is also explained as the one who has the quality of forgiveness. That is how it is used. It is understood. So kshama means he is willing to forgive. Generally, we find it very difficult to forgive the mistakes of others, the wrongs of others. We find it difficult. But we forgive our own mistakes very easily. We see the mistake in us and readily forgive. This is what is called self-love. Love for oneself. So the love is bottled up in one body mind. That is the ignorance. Love is good, but love must go with wisdom, as I told you. So it should not be bottled up in one body mind. Therefore, you see that you forgive yourself so easily. The same way you should be able to forgive others. The beauty of forgiveness is, as you forgive a person for his mistake, you will forget the mistake and forget the person, and the file is closed. It doesn't keep opened. It doesn't remain opened in your mind anymore. So all those people who have wronged you and you have forgiven them, you have forgotten all of them, and therefore the mind remains free and clean. But in those cases where you have not forgiven your adversary or your wrongdoer, you have not forgiven that person, So that file remains open in the mind, and quite often it pops up. You remember that event, that hurt that the other person caused, and you curse the other person again and again and again. So it remains as a wound in the psyche. And if you carry these wounds, a few of them, you will suffer till the end of life. So you should not carry these wounds. These emotional wounds or bruises, you should allow them to heal. The best way to heal an emotional wound is to forgive the other person. The one who has caused the hurt, you forgive the person. You don't expect the person to come and ask forgiveness. That is not how it happens. Without the person ever asking for forgiveness, I forgive. There is a statement coming from Bible, I think. So the prayer is some saintly prayer. The prayer is, O God, I forgive the ills of others so that you will forgive my ills. That is the prayer. And when I was young, I have seen a movie called Ben-Hur. In that movie concludes in a way, in the last part of the movie, so the Christ was crucified. And so it was a very gory scene. The Roman soldiers, so they nailed the Christ to the cross and then haul the cross up, haul it up and fix it. That is the scene. And so they have done it, 3 or 4 of them, the Roman soldiers. They crucified 2 people that day. And so first they crucify one guy and then they crucify Christ. And so they are done. It is a job for them, And they are employed by the king, and so they have to do the job. And so they finish the job and they go home. That is how they function. And so just as they are nailing the Christ to the cross and hauling up the cross, the Christ says one thing. There is a voice coming from his lips. He says, O God, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing. See that? Something very, very inspiring. So that is the ease with which you forgive others. That makes you a loving person, a saintly person. That is the Kshami. So, you see, suppose you hit a piece of stone with a sword, it leaves a mark on the stone. And that mark takes thousands of years to heal. But if you hit on the sand with the same sword, the mark will form, but in a few days or maybe a day or two, the mark will heal. The wind, etc. comes and the sand particles move this way, that way, and the mark is healed. So easily it is healed. So any hurt that happened to your heart should be like that mark in the sand, not like the mark in the stone. You should not be stone-hearted. Suppose you hit water with the sword, a mark is formed, but the mark heals or it is covered up almost instantly. And if you hit the sky with the sword, no mark even formed. There is no mark even, there is no need to heal it also. So that is how the saintly people are. They are not hurt at all. Nothing hurts them. They don't give the opportunity for the other people to hurt them. And wise people, even if a small mark of hurt has formed in the heart, it quickly heals, and therefore the forgiving others comes very easy. So such an attitude of forgiving others easily, it is a big blessing, because you are blessing yourself. While you forgive the other person, you are blessing yourself. It is not even, it is a kind of a selfishness in the right way. Because the moment you forgive a person wholeheartedly, you are free from the emotional wound. Whatever may happen to the other person, it happens, but you are free. And your wound is healed. That is the person Kshami. That's why bhakti is a very interesting thing to understand. What people do, they don't want to understand anything. They don't want to think, they don't want to understand anything. Therefore, they perform a few rituals in the name of the bhakti and they are done with it. This is how people function. And then these dualistic religions have created an enormous scheme of love of God. So that is all dualism. God is the other, and you love the God, and so it is a very complex love of God, which is entirely based on beliefs and quite often superstitions also. So that kind of love, it doesn't help. So the pure love, as it is described by this verse, Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam, that is the true love and that is the true devotion to God. Good. Next verse. Maya Veshya Mano Ye Mam Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetaha Te Me Yuktatama Mataha. Upasate is Bahuvachanam. Aste, asate, asate. Okay? So, ye whosoever manaha mayi aveshya. Okay? So, by focusing the mind on me, that is what it is, aveshya. So you can see the bhashya, mayi vishwarupe parameshware aveshya samadhaya manaha bhakta santaha. So that is what the people are supposed to do. They have to focus, samadhaya, they have to focus the mind on Ishvara. This is not concentration. This is not concentration. Samadhanam is not concentration. Because concentration belongs to the discipline of Hatha Yoga. As I already mentioned, you withdraw the mind from every possible source or every possible direction and focus it or concentrate, fix it on one thing in one direction. That is the concentration, and that is very painful because mind is very fickle and very unstable it is. And so it is like you have to make a monkey sit quiet and look at something. And what kind of monkey? A monkey that was drunk, bitten by a scorpion and possessed by a evil spirit. That is the monkey. And that monkey has to sit quiet and look at something. Look at Bhagavan's photo. Now, what it will look at. So, that is what people do, you know. So, put a photo there and you look at it. You means what? The mind. So, manaha, mind. So, kapishayana madamattaha. The mind is now like the monkey which is intoxicated by drinking some alcohol. So the kapishayana is alcohol. Therefore, that is the mind. So very painful job it is. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. That's why people sometimes prove to be very clever. So give a mantra and give a mala also, and give a target that he cannot reach anytime soon. Okay? So then say, chant it for 10 lakh times. The person won't appear, come back again for 3-4 years. So the way to send away people, because they sit at the cowl sit on the head. So this is the way. The gurus do this kind of a trick. So you send him away. And also add one rider. While doing the mantra, you will get siddhi. That is the word used. All terminology is used. Correct terminology you have to use. It may mean nothing ultimately, but you have to use the right words. The mantra siddhi should happen. So the mantra is called Guru Mantra. You see, that is interesting. So I heard the word Guru Mantra for the very first time when I went to America. I did not hear the word in India. It was not there. In South India, you don't hear the word Guru Mantra. They call it only mantra, not Guru Mantra. This Guru Mantra, I think it comes from Gujarat. So anyway, so call it Guru Mantra. And so put the person, attach it to the mantra. And then put a rider. The mantra siddhi will happen. But you should always concentrate the mind properly on the form. Something you put. He will not be able to do that. He will never be able to do that. And he will try for some time and get frustrated, strive a lot more and frustrated more and more, and then give up. That is what people do. And then sometimes there could be some complacency also. Okay, something we have done like that. So that is not samadhanam. Samadhana is an important qualification in Vedanta. So, as we have already seen, Viveka, Vairagya, then comes Shat Sampatti, the 6 qualities. They are the qualities of the mind only. In all those qualities, the mind is allowed to settle down. The mind acquires the quality of settling down. Mind remains mostly settled, mostly quiet. So all the angularities of the mind are smoothened, and the fickleness of the mind is also addressed, and that also becomes less and less. And because the mind has no reason to run hither and thither, it has no pressure, inner pressure to run riot. That inner pressure will not be there. Therefore it will settle down. That is, and then it becomes very focused. The focusing is in the form of awareness. You are aware of what is. You are not excluding anything. You are just aware of what is. That is called samadhanam, the awareness. This is there in the Buddhist literature also a lot, but they don't call it samadhanam. They call it mindfulness. So that is the word they use. So you are just aware. And in being aware, there is no struggle. There is no struggle. There is no effort also. Awareness happens spontaneously. You are aware of what is. You are not trying to invite anything into the field of awareness, nor you are trying to push away something out of the field of awareness. You are aware of whatever is. Here, then the samadhanam on Ishvara. Suppose you say a form. On this form, you have to focus your mind. That becomes concentration. But you say, whatever form comes your way, whatever. It may be a tree, or a plant, or a flower, or a bird, or a blade of grass, or it could be the sun, or the moon, or the river, or an old woman carrying a load on her head. Did you ever notice an old woman carrying a load on her head? It's a very interesting sight. You see such sight only in India. There is nothing for you to do. Just going and offering to help her carry her load for a length of distance may not be even practical, because she may not hand over her load to you. She may not like to do that. She will carry her load herself. Therefore, there is nothing for you to do there. Just be sensitive about it. There is something in it. I am unable to explain in words. When I see an old woman carrying a load on her head, a load of wood, firewood on her head, when she is carrying, there is something in it. The glory of Ishvara is there, the power of life in it, the love of the lady for her household, and she is struggling to make both ends meet. There is a sanctity, a sacredness, a divinity in that struggle. So you are aware of that. You are aware of all of that. So you are not looking for a particular place or time or form. No desha, kala, vastu, paricheda in that awareness. Totally free, open-ended awareness. That's why that kind of awareness is called samadhana. So now you focus your mind on Ishvara, not in a particular form, but Vishwarupe. So the Bhashyakara, you must pay attention to that. Mayi, he has to explain the word Mayi. He could say Mayi Ishvare, he could say, or Parameshvare, he could say, but he doesn't say that. He has to connect it to the context. The context is Ishvara, who is Vishwarupa. Mayi Vishwarupe Ishvare. There are some commentaries on Gita where they will say Mayi Vasudeve Devaki Vasudeva Nandane Murali Manohare, like that they go on, which is okay. That is another way of looking at it, but that becomes very difficult, that you have to focus on Murali Manohara and all that. That doesn't work. So you may try if you wish, it won't work. So on the other hand, if you are conscious of the fact that every object of this universe signifies Ishvara, signifies, it is the Lakshanam, Upalakshanam. Lakshanam, not Upalakshanam, Lakshanam. So Lakshanam means Lakhata hai. It shows you every object of this world. Every object, you should not trivialize these things. You should not say, oh, the writing pen is Ishvara, this cup is Ishvara, this paper is the tablecloth. You should not start like that, okay? You should not trivialize. You have to keep its magnanimity and sanctity. So you should be able to say, oh, you mean to say the rising sun is Ishvara? Yes. The stars are Ishvara, the moon is Ishvara, the plant, the tree is Ishvara, the flower is Ishvara, the river is Ishvara, the child is Ishvara, the old woman is Ishvara, like that. That way you have to say, to keep it magnanimous, you have to keep it in a particular stature. So the mantra also says, Tvam Kumara Utava Kumari Jirno Dandena Vanchasi. This is from Rigveda. You are the young man. You see, some of these religious guys, they don't like young people. Because these young people, they come with some kind of a funny dress and all that. That is true. Their dress is funny, no doubt about it. But yet their hair is funny, and the dress is also very funny. And so they come in a very weird way. There is no doubt about it. They could have been better than that, more organized and are disciplined. But that is not the age. They are just in that age of youth where they don't have any thinking and knowledge in them. So they are just becoming, flowing along the force of life, Anyway, you know it. So whereas the spiritual people, the loving people, they don't have any particular animosity or hostility towards the youth. They love all. So here is a young man. So Ishvara in the form of a young man. And then Kumari in the form of a young girl. And then suddenly you come across an old man. Jirnaha Dandena Vanchasi. Vancha Gatau. So an old man walking with a stick in his hand. Tvam Klebaha. Klebaha is a transgender. You are the transgender, like that. So this is how you see Ishvara in all. In this, you are not excluding anything, and you are not trying to concentrate on a given particular thing, and therefore the awareness is totally free. This is how the things change. The Namarupa constantly change, but the focus remains on Ishvara, because Ishvara is in the form of Vishwarupa. That is the Avesha, Samadhana. You see, the word Avesha is very interesting. People do have this quality called Avesha. Avesha is a kind of a overwhelming focus, almost to the extent of obsession. That is the Avesha. For example, people are possessed. That is the Avesha. Avesha is possessed. People are possessed of the greed of wealth, the greed for money and wealth. They are possessed by that. You can see that. People are like that. And then people are possessed by power, So they have power, and they are very conscious of it, and they exhibit the power, they show it, and they wield it. They wield the power, and they feel very arrogant about it, very strong about it. That is the Avesha. So Dhanavesha, Adhikara Avesha. And then you have Kopavesha, Krodhavesha. When the person is angry, obviously he is possessed by anger. It is like he is possessed by an evil spirit. And then you can also have Lobha. Lobha also is an Avesha. Then Lobha is greed. Greed possesses people. It happens. Some people in the youth and middle age, they are very liberal, not holding on to the wealth very strongly. They are easy, they give easily. But as they become old, somehow this old age brings some undesirable qualities. Unless you are very cautious, if you are a spiritual person, you are saved. Otherwise, if there is no spirituality in your life, then you become old and all kinds of undesirable qualities will come back. Because old man is like a child. Child and old man, The child, the drool will be there, and old man will have the drool. The child has no teeth, the old guy has no teeth, like that. Very similar. And the children are very selfish. Children are very selfish. Because they are children, we don't mind it. But if the same selfishness is exhibited when the person grows, nobody would like that person. So children are very selfish. And old people, in the old age, if you don't develop the spirituality, if you are not a student of Gita, etc., you are likely to become very selfish again. So it is something like child is the father of the man, or some such thing it operates. Therefore, the old people, they tend to become very greedy and very tight-fisted. They don't give. They hold on to the properties, gold and wealth in their fist, and they don't give it up. And all will be looking at the guy for two things. When will he give up? When will he open his fist? Or when will he go away? So that we can enjoy what is left behind. So this is the Lobha Avesha. And then Kama Avesha. Kama is anger. Kama is desire. Kama is desire. So these are some of the Aveshas, that kind of a possessed attitude that people do have in their life. Those Aveshas have to be replaced by one single Avesha. This is what is called God consciousness. You are conscious of the God in all. Mayi Vishwarupe Parameshware Aveshya means Manaha Samadhaya. You see, what is a religion? You see, religion should not be reduced to a set of forms and rituals. They will be there. They are there. They are very preliminary aspect of religion. In themselves, they are not the true religion. You can say they lead to the religion. You can say that. It may be true also, but in themselves, they are not the true religion. Religion is that advanced state of mind. That is what religion is. It is the advanced state of mind in that advanced state of mind, in which peace, shanti, equanimity, that samatvam, samadukha sukha, etc. And then love, universal love, that is the love. And the knowledge of the self means you take yourself correctly. You think and feel of yourself wisely. That is the knowledge of the self. You see, knowledge of the self is here and now. You know yourself here and now. For example, you look into your mind and notice there is a jealousy. Okay? So now you acknowledge there is jealousy in my mind. I am jealous towards that person. That is self-knowledge. That is self-knowledge. Now you have known one important aspect of your own psyche. Now, knowledge is action. Once you know there is jealousy, and it is a toxic thing, it is an irritant in the psyche, it should not be there, but it is there. This is knowledge. And then you practice loving kindness meditation, and very soon the jealousy will vanish. In fact, you notice it in the mind and you acknowledge it as an irritant is enough to drive away the jealousy from the mind. Because knowledge is action. When it comes to the mind, knowledge is action. You need not take up another action. And loving kindness meditation is not an action in a case. Meditation is awareness. Therefore, that knowledge of the self. So these things happen, they come naturally and spontaneously. That is what I was defining. The religion is an advanced state of mind in which peace, tranquility, universal love and knowledge of the self, they come naturally and spontaneously. So, you see, the religion should help us directly to experience. So, the reality, the divinity, which is the reality, behind all names and forms in the universe, that is the religion. Unfortunately, people are impervious to this vision. They are caught in the religion as practiced by the masses, and they are caught in a variety of forms, rituals, and other forms. Many forms of religion are there. So they are caught in all that rigmarole, and therefore they are not aware of the true religion. So religion should help us to experience directly the true reality, which is the divinity behind all names and forms in the universe. That's why Shankara says, Mayi Vishwarupe. So, and as we have already seen, the very first step in the direction of true religion is to do away with egoism and merge in the universal self. You merge in the universal self means you merge into that impersonal awareness to such an extent that you are oblivious of the little self. To such an extent you merge in the universal self, and you directly experience the divinity behind all names and forms. You see the glory of Ishvara in a dry leaf. To that an extent you are conscious of the divinity. That is the true religion. So, therefore, that is the meaning of saying, ye manaha mayi aveshya upasate. This is the upasana. There is no other upasana. That is the upasana. You see, Vedic upasanas were like that. The upasanas, as they were understood in the Vedic vision, they were all in the different expressions of that universal love. That is how the upasanas were there. So you contemplate upon the moon. So yopam pushpam veda. Veda is upaste. So chandrama va apam pushpam. So moon, you contemplate upon moon as the essence of waters and all that. And then comes what? If you see that mantra pushpa, so then you contemplate upon Parjanya, the rain-bearing clouds. Then you contemplate upon nakshatra. Like that there is a sequence. Agnihi, Vayuhu, and then Varunaha. Like that they are all there. These are all the upasanas. We stand in the temple and recite all these mantras. Agnirva, Apama, Yatanam, like that. So, there is the contemplation or upasana on Agni, Varuna, Vayu, etc. So, all these upasanas, they are, by the time you cover the entire list of upasanas, it translates as seeing divinity in every form of the universe. That is how the upasanas are. That's why these Vedic upasanas, they all guide you towards the self-knowledge, towards universal love, and eventually into knowledge of the self, which is the Brahman. That is how they guide. But what happened is, over a period, this upasana has become very corrupted. So they have the Puranic upasanas have come into the picture, and even the Puranic upasanas could be very, very divine and very pure and sublime. But unfortunately, the human mind has this element of corruption, and therefore it is the pastime of the human mind to divide and oppose. Therefore, all kinds of meaningless upasanas have become popular, and therefore these people, they claim themselves to be upasakas. Somebody says, I am the upasaka of this devata, and somebody else says, I am the upasaka of that devata. Like that they reel out names, and people get they get inspired by these names, and they believe. People are believers, you know. Common people are very gullible and credulous. They are ready to believe. They are waiting to believe. You see, 100 people assemble, and they are waiting. Waiting for what? Waiting to believe. That is how they are waiting. It is like 10 to 3. We all assemble there, waiting. Waiting for what? Tea. Waiting for tea. Right? We are all lingering there, moving here. Hello, how are you? There is no hello, nothing. He is just waiting for tea. Right? So everybody is waiting for tea. Like that, 100 people assemble somewhere inside the temple or whatever. They assemble. And they are all waiting. Waiting for what? They are waiting for someone to come there and tell them what to believe. No thinking at all. So therefore, somebody comes and says, I am the upasaka of such and such devata. I am not saying names because I don't want to hurt more than what I am already doing. Some funny name he will say. Somebody says, I am upasaka of Ganapati, which is fine. Somebody else comes and says, I am the upasaka of Uchishta Ganapati. Uchishta is not a clean word. So you have to, Ganapati is very docile and very sattvic. Therefore it doesn't serve much our purpose. It is like election. In the election, you need a rowdy to support you. You don't want some nice person to support. A nice person will have his vote and one more vote. So like that, we have so many desires and we have to get at some of these enemies. And some enemies, we have to defeat them and we have to teach them a lesson. And so now Ganapati won't work. Ganapati doesn't serve that purpose. Sattvika. Therefore you need a Rajasa or a Tamasa. Therefore come out with another kind of Ganapati with a very undesirable epithet. Uchishta Ganapati. What is this Uchishta Ganapati? I asked, is it not Ganapati? No, not Ganapati. Ganapati this is more powerful. Powerful for what? So it has become like that. The world has become like that. So that's why people are stuck with these very confusing and meaningless upasanas and a plethora of rituals, all of them aimed at fulfilling the endless desires. This is the religious scene today in India. That is how the religion is practiced in India. Very unfortunate. There are always worthy exceptions, but then we are looking at what is called true religion. So that is what I have been describing all the while. So nitya yuktaha upasate. So nitya yuktaha, what Bhashyakara says? Mam sarva yogeshwaranam adhishwaram. So mam upasate, you worship Ishvara. Who is the Ishvara? You contemplate upon Ishvara. This is upasana. Mental worship only. It is not any physical ritual. So, physical ritual is not generally present, is not enjoined in Gita. So, a ritual is understood. We make an effort to understand what is the motive behind the ritual, how to do it, etc. But in Gita, a particular ritual is never enjoined. You do this ritual. It is not. If you decide to do a ritual, better try to do this way. Have this kind of a motive for the ritual. Only motives are discussed. No particular rituals are enjoined by Sri Krishna. And then upasana, it is always sattvika and it is of universal love, in the form of universal love. Only that kind of upasanas you see here. Anyway, so sarva yogeshwaranam adhishwaram. You see, whether you want to follow, pursue the karma into karma yoga, or pursue the bhakti as bhakti yoga, or jnana as jnana yoga, whatever way you want to follow it, then you are guided by that higher power which is within and without. That's why that higher power called Ishvara is described as Sarva Yogeshwaranam Adhishwaram Sarvajñam. So it is the Sarvajña, the Ishvara who is in the form of that higher power which knows all. Which knows all. You see, the awareness which you are is already Sarvajña. It knows all. It knows all means it knows all that are known to the intellect, and it knows all that are not so well known to the intellect. Vidita and avidita. Therefore it knows all. You see, all is because all is evident. Unless it is evident, you cannot say it is. So in Vedanta, Vedantins do not accept existence independent of knowledge. That is the basic philosophy of Vedanta. They do not accept existence, Sat, independent of Chit. Sat is Sat only when it is illuminated by Chit. Sadeva Chit, Chideva Sat. There is a big discussion about this Sat and Chit. To put it in a nutshell, unless it becomes illuminated by Chit, awareness, which is also called Samvit. So it has to become an object of samvit, that awareness. Then only it is called chit. That's why the satyam, sadeva satyam, satyam jnanam anandam brahma, sadeva satyam. Satyam is the truth. Sat is what is. So now what is the definition of the truth? Sadeva satyam. He somya, sadeva satyam. That is Chandogya. Therefore, whatever is, what is alone is the truth. So the truth is not what was or what will be. People are like that. So there is Satya Yuga. There used to be truth at the time. Now it is not there. No. Or you do tapas, you do puja, etc. It will come later to you. In the future it will come. When the planets get reorganized in the right way, you will get the truth. Now you won't get it. Why? Because now Shukra is looking at Shani. Whatever. Something. So that is not truth. You know what is truth? The beauty of the truth is, it is what is. Sadeva Satyam. And so Satyam means what is. What is also Jnanam. Satyam Jnanam. That is Brahma. So Sat is Chit. Jnanam is Jnaptihi, the Samvit. Therefore, Sarvajnam, there is Sarva only because there is knowledge of Sarva. Without knowledge of Sarva, there will be no Sarva. What I said is the vision of the Vedantins, not Nayayikas, etc. They have a different way of looking at it. And also Sarvajna, Shankara says Sarvajna is not Sarvam Janati. Sarvam Janati iti Sarvajnaha. It is called Upapada Samasa. It is not, it is like Kumbham Karoti iti Kumbhakaraha, that kind of a Samasa. But that is not how it is. Sarvaschasau Jnascha Sarvajnaha. That is Karmatharaya. He is the Sarva, that is Sat. And he is the Jna, that is the Chit. Satyam is Jnanam. Jnanam is Satyam. That is what is called Brahma. So that awareness absolute, that is Sarvajna. And you have to focus on that. Instead of bottling up your love and your knowledge, your being to the physical body, you allow it to open up and embrace all existence as myself, all knowledge as myself, and all love as myself. Sarvajnam vimuktaraga diklesha timira drishtim. What is the difference between Ishvara and Jiva? You see, a king was going in a palanquin, and then he saw by the side of the road a farmer, half naked. The upper body is naked, and he is tilling the land, a farmer in the hot sun. Then the king was a very sensitive person and very loving person, so he stopped his palanquin and came out